Tim Kaine, the entertainment editor at the Herald and Review, and I'm at my desk. I love how different things, and for me, I'm thinking specifically music, can put me back in a specific place. I can hear a song, and it obviously isn't the case with all songs, but I can hear certain songs, and I can be back to a moment in time, either when I first heard the song or when the song was regular on the radio. I remember vividly the song Daydream Believer is tied to me to seeing one of my uncles fly off to fight in Vietnam. The only reason I remember it so vividly is because we heard it 3 or 4 times in the car driving to the airport to see him, and it was both going up to the airport and coming back, and then realizing that something had happened, something had changed, and it may have been the first time I really realized that the Vietnam War was having a direct effect on my life, and I probably would have been 7 or 8 years old at the time. For you, it might be a movie, it might be a TV show, it might be a book. I had another throwback in time recently at work. I saw Hugh Sullivan, who's filming this as we speak. He was carrying around something in a baggie, and it looked like brownies or cookies of some sort. And I knew he was, and I could tell by the fact that he was actually moving with a purpose. For one of the few times in the office that I see him moving with a purpose, that he was taking this and delivering it directly to another individual. And a little bit later in the day, he held up a baggie and kind of waved it in my direction. There was one little brownie type thing, that was the color, in the bag. And he said, "Would you like this?" And I said, "Is that what I think it is?" As I look closer at it, I said, "Is that coconut and peanut butter?" And he said, "Yeah." Hugh and his lovely wife, Elida, I don't know why she's with him. Elida calls them no-bake cookies. To me, they're grandma cookies. And that was what I knew them as the entire time I was growing up. And I know that all of us have our thing that are grandma cookies. This is my grandma cookie. And the grandma cookie of me and our kid, of the kids, my cousins that were all part of the same group. And Hugh gave this cookie to me, and I took one bite of it, and I was 6 years old again. I was sitting in my grandma's house, and the family was around. It was one of those winter days when it's a little too warm in the house because the oven is going and the stove is on, and things are hotter than they ought to be because the furnace is still at 78 degrees because that's how your grandparents had to have it, and it was probably colder outside than I remember it being, and not as warm inside as I remember it being, but all that stuff came flooding back to me the second I ate this cookie. And I remember asking my godmother, probably I was 22 or 23 years old, and I hadn't had these cookies for a dozen years. And I had told my wife about the cookies and said, "I love these." She had no idea what I was talking about. I asked my godmother gave us the recipe, and my wife looked at them and said, "These are easy." And doesn't do them all the time, but when she does them, they're greatly appreciated, just like when Elida, via Hugh, gave me that one cookie. I was back to being 6 or 8 years old again and just smiling like crazy. So as the season approaches, I hope that if your grandmother is still around and she's going to make some of those cookies for you, I hope you give her an extra special thanks. And make sure you get the recipe. I'm Tim Kaine. I'm at my desk. I guess Elida calls them dry cookies. No bake. No bake cookies? Okay. We'll start that again then.